All right, so today we're going to be talking about the concussion epidemic. This is about how concussions across youth sports in the nation are on the rise in recent years. My name is Evan Scavato.
I'm Camille Ash.
I'm Tyler McCall.
And I'm David Mitzner.
All right, so a recent study from Wellington Sue, who is a professor of orthopedics at Northwestern University, claims that the amount of concussions in the United States due to youth sports are increasing. Sue found out in the 3 years from 2015 to 2017, there are more concussions in the 5 years of 2010 to 2014. With his study, him and his team found out that different sports experience different concussion rates. For example, the highest concussion rates among youth sports belong to girls soccer and boys football. Also, volleyball had the highest increase of concussions throughout that time span, with almost 65% more concussions in 2015 to 2017 than 2010 to 2014. Another statistic that the study found was that despite decreasing participation in football and a few other sports, the number of concussions were still rising in each of those sports. Now, with all this information, one may ask, why are the number of concussions increasing so much? In brief terms, it's not because of the players or the specific games themselves. It's about the new learned knowledge about concussions. One of the main reasons why concussions are increasing is the elevated public awareness because of star athletes that are highlighted in the media because of their head injuries. This makes concussions more socially acceptable and also more common. Another reason is that firms like the NCAA and NFL are creating new laws that enforce better reporting in terms of head injuries and concussion-like symptoms. And the last reason is that as we learn more about concussions, CTE, and their severity, physicians are administering more careful measures to diagnose concussions rather than just putting the players back out on the field. Although the rise in concussions can be seen as a negative, this is actually a positive for the medical and sports communities. With increased knowledge, awareness, and care about head injuries, we are now able to fight these ailments through a smarter and more careful lens.
All right, background and general health effects. A concussion is a disturbance in brain function that occurs following either a blow to the head or as a result of violent shaking of the head. The short-term effects are headaches, balance problems or dizziness, problem or fuzzy vision, sensitivity to light or noise, feeling sluggish, change in sleep patterns, concentration or memory problems. Although the majority of athletes who experience concussions are likely to recover, an unknown number of these individuals may experience certain symptoms related to recurrent injuries. The symptoms may be chronic headaches, fatigue, personality change, increased irritability, sensitivity to light or noise, dizziness when standing quickly, problems with short-term memory, or problem solving and general academic functioning. The symptoms long after the concussions are referred to as post-concussion syndrome and can be quite disabling for an athlete. In addition to post-concussion syndrome, suffering a second blow to the head while recovering from an initial concussion can have catastrophic consequences in case of second impact syndrome, which has led to approximately 30 to 40 deaths over the past decade. It is estimated that 3.8 million concussions occur in the U.S. per year during competitive sports. However, as many as 50% of concussions may go unreported. Concussions occur in all sports, with the highest incidence in football, hockey, rugby, soccer, and basketball. The long-term effects are trouble concentrating, memory problems, sensitivity to light, sleep disturbance, depression, and other psychological problems. I read this quote from Gregory Howerly, a neurosurgeon and a concussion specialist at the University of Utah Health. He stated that we're learning that perhaps these seemingly minor blows to the head, when they are accumulated, can lead to depression and behavior change. In fact, we think that some suicides may be linked to brain damage and result of multiple concussions. It is important to understand the severity of concussions. They are common injuries in sports, and we need to take them seriously.
Some famous NFL athletes who have been diagnosed with CTE or even died of it include Aaron Hernandez, Fran Gifford, Andre Waters, Ken Stabler, Junior Seau, and Dave Durson.
So some of the general NCAA protocol, the NCAA requires that each athlete must have a pre-participation baseline concussion test, and they also require that each institution have a concussion management plan. And then they also work with other institutes to provide resources. So for example, the SSI, or the Sports Science Institute, gives many resources to schools and student athletes. And the NCAA also has a concussion safety protocol template, which they don't require schools to use, but they use it as a guideline for the minimum that schools must have in place to protect student athletes from head injury and its long-term effects. And then some of the action that the NCAA has taken is that they partnered with the U.S. Department of Defense CARE Consortium, which CARE stands for Concussion Assessment Research Education, and they launched a 3-year, $30 million concussion study in 2014. And since then, the study is still ongoing, and it is currently the largest concussion study in history. And they've increased the funding up to $64 million, and they've studied over 3,000 student athletes with concussions. And the two goals of the study are to study the natural history of concussions, which is looking at how signs and symptoms evolve for different people with concussions, and then also to study how the brain is impacted by concussions. And then these are the sources that we used.